Hey everybody, happy Friday. So I had a couple of messages about the beautiful lady who has been a client of ours since last September, who suffered quite severe telogen effluvium. So that's where her hair started to thin and fall out really quickly after a pretty traumatic event that happened to her in her life. So telogen effluvium is where the hair growth cycle, and it goes through three different phases: the anagen, telogen, and catagen phase. So one is a growth phase and the other is a resting phase. And oftentimes when there's been a disruptor, like something like a bad car accident or a huge emotional trauma, it can actually disrupt the whole cycle that your hair is in. And oftentimes you could lose your hair for anything from a year to even longer. And it is a cause of great distress to clients. So this gorgeous lady was referred to me from Eileen from Hair Council in Maryborough Hill in Cork, because she specialises in post-oncology hair. She's OTI trained, but this particular lady wasn't post-oncology, but the sudden hair loss was something that she didn't know what to do with next, and she referred her for a consultation with me in my Hair Revive clinic so that we could assess to see if she was a suitable candidate for either PRP or polynucleotides. And once I did the initial assessment and I knew that she was going to be a compliant client, plus her follicles were already showing signs of being open from stimulation because she used. So this client embarked on a program of PRP with me. She was using her minoxidil. She was doing all the things that she was asked to do, and she was patient and she was persistent. And we tell all of our clients that we wouldn't take them on unless we are pretty sure that it's going to get a good result. But already her follicles were showing a sign of stimulation. So usually it is a 69 to 70% success rate. And in this particular lady, it has been an outstanding success rate. So she joined me in my clinic, I think it was probably last September, and did her monthly PRP. Yes, she had one in October, November, and in January. And it's not a one and done, so you have to have another one-off session every 6 months ongoingly. Once we are confident that everything is going great, we might eventually be able to say goodbye. But I usually say to my clients, topical minoxidil is going to be your friend forever, and to do all the oral supplementation, the Vit-D, the Vit-B12, the biotin, finasteride if you're postmenopausal, and in men they can take it as well, and just make sure that that thyroid function is good and that they're not anemic, which was the case with this gorgeous lady. Anyway, she was back to Eileen in Hair Health Council yesterday, and Eileen sent me on this photograph of since I saw her last, which was in January, about how fast her hair has grown. She's managed to have her hair coloured and styled, and in January, and it's not a one and done, so you have to have another one-off session every 6 months ongoingly. Once we are confident that everything is going great, we might eventually be able to say goodbye. But I usually say to my clients, topical minoxidil is going to be your friend forever, and to do all the oral supplementation, the Vit-D, the Vit-B12, the biotin, finasteride if you're postmenopausal, and in men they can take it as well, and just make sure that that thyroid function is good and that they're not anemic, which was the case with this gorgeous lady. Anyway, she was back to Eileen in Hair Health Council yesterday, and Eileen sent me on this photograph of since I saw her last, which was in January, about how fast her hair has grown. She's managed to have her hair coloured and styled, and this is what she looks like having had her hair coloured and styled yesterday. So she gave me full permission to share her story. Obviously, I won't be identifying who she is, but she is, as you can see, totally overjoyed. And yes, she was at her wit's end. And oftentimes, when people would go to a hairdresser, they don't know where else to go, and oftentimes the hairdresser doesn't know where to send them either. So I'm just very lucky that we work very closely with Eileen in Hair Health Council, so that at least she can refer a client on to me, and she can say, listen, I don't know if you can help this lady, but can you, or help this man? And invariably, sometimes people might go and see a trichologist, and a trichologist is somebody who would actually refer the client on to me to do either the PRP or to do the polynucleotides. So we all work very well together, and we all have a place in the whole hair health journey. From a personal point of view, last year I lost a lot of weight very suddenly, and I had noticed at the time that my own hair had suffered quite severely, and it was advised at the time to cut it short and take the weight off the follicles. And when I was in my 20s, after a 6-year-long relationship that broke up, I remember the grief and the shock of that also culminated in me and losing good 70% of my hair. And I had long hair down to my waist, long black hair, and it literally just fell out in clumps. And that's an indication of emotional trauma, which it was for me at the time. It was the death of a relationship, and it was almost like the death as you and I would know death, but it was the death of a relationship, and my hair started to fall out. So there was no treatments back then to be able to help the likes of us. I was waiting nearly about 3 years for my hair to actually come back to its former glory. But thankfully it did, and but now you don't have to wait that long. These treatments are available. So there you go, coffee in yet another location today, but I hope it helps.